Let none of you say, I have learned the whole of the Quran. For how does he know what the whole of it is, when much of it has disappeared? Let him rather say, I have learned what remains thereof. Ugh! Companion Ibn Umar. Whoa. Kitab Badil al-Quran. Sources. Sources.
David, what are you doing? Those aren't Qurans, are they?
Rest in peace.
No.
You're not going to burn these books, are you?
Well, the thought had crossed my mind.
No! Don't burn these books. Books are filled with valuable information.
Fact.
Here, let me randomly pick one and open to a random page. Uthman sent to every Muslim province one copy of what they had copied, and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt.
What?
Let me see that.
I love the corniness.
Uthman ordered that all other Quranic materials be burnt. So there's already been a burn the Quran day. But why, Nabeel?
I don't know, David. Perhaps one of these other books that are filled with valuable information can help. It's a good thing you didn't burn them. Let's take a look at one at random.
Oh, here's one. Sahih Muslim. Abu Musa al-Ashari sent for the reciters of Basra. They came to him and they were 300 in number. They recited the Quran and he said, "You are the best among the inhabitants of Basra, for you are the reciters among them. So continue to recite it. But bear in mind that your reciting for a long time may not harden your hearts, as were hardened the hearts of those before you."
Wow, it says they had their hearts hardened. Well, what happened next?
Let's keep reading and find out. We used to recite a surah which resembled in length and severity to Surah Barat. I have, however, forgotten it, with the exception of this, which I remember out of it. If there were 2 valleys full of riches for the son of Adam, he would long for a 3rd valley, and nothing would fill the stomach of the son of Adam but dust. And we used to recite a surah which resembled one of the surahs of Musabihat, and I have forgotten it. So this is saying that 2 chapters of the Quran are missing because Muslims forgot them.
Say
Let me
what?
see that.
Hold on now. Hold on with y'all Muslims out here, man. It's supposed to be perfectly preserved. What's going on? Where is it perfectly preserved at? Because it can't be here with what we're seeing right now with your sources. They're reading out of your sources, quoting it right there, telling you what book, what chapter, where to go. So, man, these chapters ain't even here. That's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. But it's perfectly preserved. It must be perfectly preserved up in heaven, because right here it ain't. It is not, obviously. And then it's uncreated and it's eternal. But yet the eternal, uncreated word of Allah is missing stuff, is being burnt. Man, it's like the power that the Quran has really doesn't have no power here on earth. It's almost like it's veiled to the point that, man, anything can happen to it. Like it could be ate. Whoever would do such a thing, I don't know, but it could be spit on. If one would want to slap it, it could be slapped. Man, that's crazy. So this Quran that's supposed to be this unchanging word that Allah has, that's supposed to be, eternal, is somehow being forgotten. It's not really that important. It's being burned by its own folks, its own people. Man, what's really going on here? And then they got the sources. They pulling up the sources. They ain't just talking out the side of their neck. No, they talking about what the source is saying. They reading it randomly. You know what I'm saying? They just pulling up the book and like, bam, it's right there. Like, wow, like Jinkies, Batman. Wait, no, Jinkies, that's Scooby-Doo and Batman. Well, anyway, golly gee willikers, Batman.
Golly gee willikers, zimmity jippity doo, Batman. Those policemen are pretty rude.
Robin, law enforcement officers are the backbone of our society.
There we go. That's from old school Adam West Batman. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now about how the Quran's not really. So we already know about the Qurans, right? We already know about the 26 plus different Arabic versions of the Quran. We know that. But now we're seeing why that's the case. Because things are being forgotten by folks. These things that are supposed to be memorized by everybody. Because apparently a lot of people memorize the Quran and can state the Quran from front to back. But apparently even his companions are saying, nah, you can't do that because it ain't all of it there. But I've also never heard anybody recite it from front to back either. But that's just, me. Let's get back into the video.
You're right. This is saying that 2 entire chapters are missing because Muslims forgot them.
Hey, Nabeel, look at this. Ubay was the best of us in the recitation of the Quran, yet we
best.
leave some of what he recites. Ubay says, I have taken it from the mouth of Allah's messenger and will not leave it for anything whatever.
What?
Wasn't Ubay the best reciter of the Quran?
Yes!
And wasn't he one of the best 4 teachers of the Quran?
Yes!
But he says stuff in his Quran that is not in this Quran. Let me pick a random verse from this Quran and read it. Surah 33, verse 6. The Prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves, and his
Dang.
wives are their mothers.
Dang.
Oh look, here's a footnote. In some qira'as, like that of Ubay ibn Ka'b, occur also the words, and he is a father of them.
So
But he's not supposed to
Ubay,
be.
one of Muhammad's top teachers of the Quran, had words in his Quran that aren't in this Quran. But was he the top teacher of the Quran?
Hold on. Even if he's top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5, why y'all taking stuff out? Who gave y'all the authority to take stuff out of the top guy, one of the top guys? Who was the one who was like, you know what? That's great, but we don't need that right there because there's something greater. How y'all gonna abrogate this brother's verses, huh? How you gonna abrogate this brother's verses that are apparently from Allah because he was reciting it from Allah, or was given to him, or however they go about reciting the verses and learning the verses, and how his recitation was a lot better than everybody else's recitation. However that goes, I don't know. But who are you to abrogate the verses that he had that were given to him from Allah? Man, y'all out here tripping.
Surely Zaid ibn Thabit, who put together the Quran we have today, was Muhammad's top Quran expert.
Well, actually, Ibn Masud was the first name that Muhammad mentioned when it came to learning the Quran. You know, surely one of these books would have something about him. Oh, look, here it is. I heard the Prophet saying, learn the Quran from 4. Abdullah ibn Masud, Salim, Mu'ad, and Ubay bin Ka'b.
Oh, dang, so he was top 4.
I wonder what Muhammad's top teacher of the Quran has to say about it.
Let me pick up another one of these books at random. Here's one. The people had been guilty of deceit in the reading of the Quran. I like it better to read according to the recitation of him whom I love, more than that of Zaid ibn Thabit.
What?
Wow, according to that book you're holding,
Emotional.
Muhammad's top teacher of the Quran is saying reading today's Quran is like being guilty of deceit. I wonder if any of these other books have something to say about it.
Lies.
Here, let me look at this one. Oh, there it is. O you Muslim people, avoid copying the Mus'haf and recitation of Zayd bin Thabit. By Allah, when I accepted Islam, he was but in the loins of a disbelieving man. And it was regarding this that Abdullah bin Masud said, O people of Al-Iraq, keep the masahif that are with you and conceal them.
Yo, that infighting is crazy, y'all. What's going on? Ain't the Muslims like one of the people that talk about the church and how we fought back in the day, but we were fighting against people that were heretical? They fighting amongst people that's themselves. I mean, I don't see how there could be any heretical views of Islam right now. It's just people who don't like each other. That's what I'm gathering. This brother ain't like this dude, so nah, I don't read his, read mine. Man, I was in the top 4. Forget that. Maybe I was in the top 4, but I wasn't top 1 because I wasn't top 1. Nah, son, that's not how it's gonna go down. These people be petty back then. These people be petty, trying to say which one is actually right. Who said it the best? Who recited it the best? Who is out there on key, tuned up? He's saying brother was using auto-tune. He can't really sing like that. He can't really recite like that. Man, they was fighting. Infighting's crazy, y'all. But it's all right. It's all right because it's still perfectly preserved, though. Even though he was supposed to be the best, and, you know, some folks are saying don't recite it that way because, haram. But hey, it is what it is. Still preserved, right?
So Muhammad's top teacher of the Quran says that today's version is deceptive and that we should avoid copying and reading it.
Ooh.
But now I'm confused, Nabeel. Muslims have always told me that the Quran has been perfectly preserved right down to the letter and that the evidence proves this.
That's what I was always taught. I'm sure one of these books will tell us that the Quran was perfectly preserved.
Gotta be.
How about that one?
Let's see. It was narrated that Aisha said, The verse of stoning and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed, and the
What?
paper was with me under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep came in and ate it?
Can't be too tame.
The verse of stoning and the verse of breastfeeding. David, are these verses in the Quran?
No!
Then why not?
Because a sheep ate them!
What?
David, we should
Holy
read all
sheep.
these books and get to the bottom of this.
5 hours. All right. They put their work in.
So let me see if I've got this right. Muhammad died, and no one had compiled the Quran. The people who had memorized large sections of the Quran were sent into battle by Abu Bakr, and they were slaughtered. Muslims lost a ton of the Quran that day. Abu Bakr didn't want to lose any more, and so he had Zaid ibn Thabit put together what was left and compiled it into a manuscript.
And soon thereafter, people started compiling their own manuscripts, and large disputes began to happen over what should be included in the Quran.
Man.
Ibn Masud had only 111 chapters in his Quran, while
111.
Ubay ibn Ka'b had 116 chapters.
Man, that's 5.
And Zaid, who compiled today's Quran, only had 114 chapters.
Dang.
According to Muslim sources, entire chapters of the Quran were lost. Large sections of chapters have been lost. Individual verses have been lost. And in the end, Uthman put together what he could, put out his own official version of the Quran,
Sheesh.
and burned all of the evidence.
Wow.
Stuff.
Sure, I'm glad that no one burned this evidence.
Nabil, let's agree that we're never going to burn any book, no matter how much we disagree with it.
Yes.
Hey. Durka Muhammad Jihad. Oh man, that's still going. All right. I wonder how long it took them to practice that. Many of the passages of the Quran that were sent down were known by those who died on the day of Yama, but they were not known by those who survived them, nor were they written down, nor had Abu Bakr, Umar, or Uthman by that time collected the Quran, nor were they found with even one person after them. Ibn Abu Dawood, Kitab-al-Masaf. Yikes. Hey, that'd be fire. Hey, what? What? Hey, get it. Write it out. Let's get it. Man, so that was David Wood and Dr. Nabeel Qureshi, breaking down how the Quran's really not preserved, and that shows that even their own writings say that things are taken out, things are abrogated, things are ate, sheep crafted out, crazy stuff, things have been burned. It's just put together, whichever sounds the best, whichever makes the most sense, whichever ones preserved perfectly, letter for letter, dot for dot. Throw one's 111, one's 114, and other one's 116. And there's probably different ones out there as well. And they all got burned, and then they got the one, and man. But nowadays, we even got more Arabic Qurans that differ as well. So what's really preserved? What is really preservation in Islam? Much like any other standard that they have, holes in it. With that being said, if you made it to this point, you see the ticker down below. Go ahead on like and subscribe and vibe out with your boy. I do these reactions all the time, whether they be pre-recorded, live reactions, and I also have people come on and share their testimony. You get that noti bell, be notified anytime that I drop so you can see anything that I come out with. So we can learn and grow together here at the Scripture Plug, because that's what it's about. Learning the faith, learning the truth, learning how to attack the nonsense and the heretical views, and also learn how to defend our own. That's what it's about here. Learn, so that we can continue to grow within the spirit, within what God has for us. This has been your boy, Scripture Plug Albert. Catch y'all next time. I'm out. Check out these videos.